Hello, welcome to another After Effects tutorial. In this tutorial we're gonna create an audio spectrum using the effect or preset audio spectrum. After Effects, of course, you can use CS5 or CS6 or the latest 2014. And also we're gonna be using the preset called CC ball action. That's the power presets that we're gonna use. Of course, we are not going to use any third-party plugins. Before we start, I'm gonna show you what we're gonna be creating today. So let me just play it.
Nera Studios.
As you know, when I create the tutorials, before I create the tutorials, I like to play a little bit, trying to see how far we can go. So let me show you a couple projects that I made. You can create your own and see how powerful is this audio spectrum and also the CC ball action. So let me play all of them and you will see those cool projects.
Nera Studios.
Also, I have the good news and bad news for you guys. The good news is you can download the projects as you see the screenshots in my website. You can just go on Nera Studio and go to blog the latest post, so you can find the button where to download. But the bad news for you guys, I'm sorry to say, that is in order to unzip the file, you need to have this Nera Studio audio track. You will have the password and you will be able to unzip the file. So let me just minimize all of them. And we're gonna pull it up After Effects. As I said, I'm gonna use the latest version 2014, and here we got my After Effects. It's a way to create a composition. Give a right click or Command and that's the shortcut, or you can go composition and create a new composition. And here we're gonna call main, and the presets we're gonna have HD TV 1080. It's 30 frames per second, and the duration we got 15 seconds long, and then I hit OK. And also we're gonna create a folder where we can have our assets. So I'm just call assets. Once we have this, make sure the assets folder is selected, holding down Command I, Control I, and PC. Of course, we're gonna pull in my logo and the soundtrack. You can use any soundtrack or your own logo, of course. Once we have this, we need to create another composition. Right click, new composition, and call waves. The same settings. Once we have this, we need to create a new solid. Another way to create a solid is right click and go new solid. I'm not giving any name. So once we have the solid layer, we need to go to effects and presets and look it up for audio spectrum. And here we go under the generate, double click. And let me just put this fit, and also we need to turn on the title option save, and holding down shift we need to pull those dots all the way to the side, to the end, and make sure it's fill the composition. And then we need to start playing with the settings. And here for my project I already have my settings, but before to proceed to the settings we need to pull in this audio. So let me just drag my soundtrack and then go back to my effects, make sure the layer is selected, and where it says audio layer we need to just put the name of the track you have, and there we have. So as I say, you can start playing with your own settings. You see, you know, the audio duration, the height, the bands, and the frequency, you know, is up to you. If I want to have the same project that I'm using or showing you guys, you just pause the video and copy the same values. Alright, I have my settings. As I said, just pause the video and copy, and you will have the same settings that we have in this project. You know, after we're done with this, let me just close this and go back to my main composition. Also, we need to go back to my project and just you know, duplicate those 2 more times. So holding down Command D is the way to duplicate. And yes, there we have 3 compositions, 3 waves compositions. We got waves, wave 2 and wave 3, but we need to rename this wave A, and also we need to rename this waves B, and I guess we need to rename this mask as, instead of having waves. All right, so once we have this, we need to pull in to my timeline, of course, in main composition, the waves A, and then we're gonna look it up for the preset that I was mentioning at the beginning of the tutorial, so called CC ball action. It's you know, under the simulation, just drag and drop, and you see we can create a lot of nice cool stuff with this. And if we go to settings, where it says grid spacing, we need to go to 1. As you know, you can play with your own, and also we need to have 72. And also I like to use the fill. As you been watching my tutorials, I love this preset called fill. You know, it's a good option to change the color. So let me just drag and drop and also change the color. In this case, you can have your own color. If you like to have mine as the A3040, that's my favorite color, as you know. And there we have, once we have this, go back to my project, and we're gonna just you know, before we need to go and, you know, make sure the waves A selected, go back to my effect control, and we're gonna copy this preset. So I'm just holding down shift, we're gonna select all of them, hold down command control C and PC, and just copy, go back to my main and my project, and we're gonna drag my waves B to the timeline, and make sure to select and go effect and control, and just paste it, hold it down command V, or you can go edit and paste it, you know. So there it is. All right, so once we have this, we need to go inside the waves B, make sure the layer solid is selected, and we need to go and put the side options to side B instead of having A. So of course, if we go back to my main, and then we have both sides. So the way I did this is because I need to to put the opacity down. So hit the T as a tone, you will have the option to put the opacity, you know, and then just go down to 20, and there we have. Once we have this, also we need to pull the mask into the timeline. So make sure it's selected, just drag and drop, make sure it's on top. Once we have this, we need to create also the text. So right click, new, and text, or you can use the shortcut, which is T. So I'm going to call Nera Studio. All right, and also let me just align a little bit, you know, to the left. Once we have this, we need to put this under the mask, make sure it's under the mask. So holding down shift, we need to select those layers, right click to pre-compose, or you can go to layer and pre-compose, and also the shortcuts, you know. And then we're gonna call this title. All right, once we have this, we need to go to and pre-compose the title as well, I mean text. Just right click and pre-compose. I'm gonna call this text placeholder. All right, once we have this, we need to put this in the math, alpha math. So make sure that the text is selected. If we go to it's none, and just drop this little channel, you will see the alpha math. So let me just put into, of course, you see there we have inside the mask, of course. But the problem is we haven't copied the dots also, you know, the color and the, you know, the CC ball action. So as you know, you already copied, so make sure to select it, go to effect and control, and hold down command B, small b, of course, and just paste it, and you will have it, you see. So if we go back to my main, and there we have. How cool is that, huh? All right, so once we have this, we need to select all those 3 layers and right click and pre-compose, and we're gonna call this all caps. All right, once we have this, let me just put this visible, and we're gonna start creating the mask. First we need to put the title action save, and pick the elliptic tool or the Q as the shortcut, and holding down Shift plus Command, you can drag a nice round mask. All right, I think right there. So once we have this, let me just go back to my main composition, put this visible, and also when it says mask, we need to subtract this, and there we have. Once we have this, we need to create the shape that we have in the as you saw in the preview. There's a nice circle, and also this waves around. So let me just go back to my After Effects, and we're gonna create a shape. Same thing, make sure it's in the layer is not selected, and go or hit the Q, that's the shortcut to pick the shape tool. So let me see. All right, make sure that's select the elliptic tool, and there we have, just right there. So once we have this, we need to create this. Instead of having the whole fill, we need to have only the stroke. So let me just go and non-fill, and also we need to go stroke and color, so you can choose any color you like. So I have the same red I like, or my favorite color, so I'm going to just go 3. I think this the stroke size is 3, and also I need to scale down a little bit. Actually, just scale what it says transform. I'm gonna scale a little bit down. Once we have this, we need to duplicate this. Just Command D to duplicate, or you can go edit and duplicate. So once we have this, we need to go fill and have the color, the same color that we have, and go stroke and put non-stroke, and there we have. And also we need to go to transform, and we need to scale down a little bit. Right there, maybe. We need to leave this space for the text, rotating. Then the next step is we need to pull the logo in my main composition. So go presets and just pull in my logo. This is PNG image, so you can have your own. And also we need to add go effect and presets and look it up for fill to change the color, as I said. And let me just have this white color. You can have your own color, of course. Once we have this, we need to make sure to pay attention to this part. So we need to scale down a little bit depending on your size or your logo size, 35 maybe. There you go. Once we have this, I need to create a new solid. So I'm just called solid. I'm not giving any name, and just make sure this camp size, and hit OK. Once we have this, make sure it's under the, down below the logo, and we're gonna hold it down Shift. Just right click and pre-compose it, and we're gonna call this logo. All right, once we have this, we need to go inside the logo, and we have make sure to have a black solid. That's the important thing in this. So make sure to have black instead of having gray. So make sure it's along real black, and then hit OK. Once we have this, if we go main, of course we don't see anything, and then so we go blending option, and we can just put a screen, and there we have. So and here we can do the magic. If we go to presets, just look it up with the same CC ball action, and just drag and drop, make sure it's drop in the logo, and there we have. And you see this nice effect. So and here we can start playing with the settings. So the grid spacing, we need to go 0, and the ball size we're gonna leave in 100, but we're gonna play with this cutter. So we're gonna just go all the way up to 100, and you will see the magic you see. So let me just put this half, because it's slow in my machine. So let me go the 0 frame, and we need to put the keyframe where it says cutter, put the keyframe and go 2 seconds long, and then just go all the way down to 0, and you will see the magic. There you have. Of course, it's not shown real white because we have in half. If we put in the full or auto, you will see the real color. So let me just put back to half. Once we have this, we need to start creating the text, rotating the middle of the stroke and the circle. So the way I create this is easy. So just right click and create a new text. I'm gonna type web developer, graphic designer plus animation. All right, I think this too big, so we just go to 30 maybe. All right, so there we have, and make sure select and align to if you don't see this tool, so you can go window and see align, and also you have this shortcut. It's nice to align the object to the center, and then we might need to add the mask, of course, so make sure it's selected. And let me just put the logo off, and then we can see a little better. Actually, you know what, also the shapes, all the shapes. So once we have this, make sure the text is selected, go hit the Q, the shortcut, and pick the ellipse tool, and then holding down, of course, I'm sorry, let me just put the shape, okay, the circle shape back on, and then holding down shift command, you just drag the circle, so right there maybe. All right, so right there I think it's fine. And then let me just make sure selected, go text, and what it says path option, we need to put the path as a mask, in the mask. So there we have. And also we need to play with the reverse path, and you just turn on and you will see the other side, opposite side. And also what it says first margin, we need to play with the way to have rotating the text. So let me just go 0, of course, and go at the beginning, and just holding that option, and we're gonna type time times 150. Of course, if you want to rotate the other side, the only thing you need to do is just add a negative 150, so you will have the opposite side rotating. And let's see what we have. All right, so there we have. And the next step is, let me just put back in, and also the stroke, and there we have. And the next step, I guess, we need to add the waves around, so let me just go new composition, solid, and create a wave round, or run waves. All right, and also we need to add the same audio spectrum, and here we can start playing. Before we start playing, we need to add the mask. So let me just go back to my ellipse tool, make sure it's selected, the layer, and you're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna drag, so holding down shift command and then drag the mask, actually right there, just cover the stroke, and then we might need to start playing with the settings. But before, we need to add the sound. Of course, we need to put this sound in my main composition, and if we select the round waves, go effect control and audio layer, the same track that we have, and you will see nice playing. Can't see because my machine is a little slow, sorry for that. All right, so once we have this, I need to start playing with the settings, and here you can have your own values. All right, so here's my setting. As I say, you can pause the video and copy, and also when it says side option, we need to put this B, side B, of course. Once we have this, we need to go to where it says path, so we need to add it to the mask that we draw, remember, and there we have. So once we have this, I guess that's looking good, but I think something is wrong here. Let me just show you what's wrong in. Okay, if you see this, it's a nice, it's now looking nice shape. It seems like cotton here, so we need to fix that. So make sure the layer is selected, just hit the M's. when it says add, you need to drop down this little triangle and go subtract, and there we have the shade fixed. All right, so once we have this, we need to add a color, the same color that we have. So go and look it up for fill. All right, so just drag and drop and change the same color, So let me just change or copy the color. Oh, you know what? Let me just type. All right, there we have. And the next step, I guess, or the last step is, just create the dots, so the rays around the circle, that we have in the previous. So let me show you what I'm talking about. Actually, I don't know what I have. Anyway, so I closed the QuickTime player. All right, so once we have this, also I think we might need to put this under the stroke. This is the stroke. Let me just rename this stroke. So stroke. All right, and also this, I'm gonna call this circle. All right, okay, so let me see, just let me just create that I added, the rays or whatever they call, the nice dots, in the middle of the text. So the same thing, and just right click, new, solid, and then I'm not giving any name, and then we might need to add the same audio spectrum. There we have. And also we need to play around, make sure also we need to add a mask, of course. So just drag the same, holding down shift in command, shift control and PC, of course. Let's see, I think it's not showing because it takes actually. Oh my god. So you know what, let me just solo this and just go back, Command Z to go back, and then solo this layer. Actually, the text, I don't know. Oh, the text also. Make sure the text, and then we have to select the black solid that we have in here. Actually, the last wave spectrum layer, and holding down shift and command, we're gonna draw the mask. Maybe right there. All right, so I think it's looking good. And then let me just unsolo those, and and the same thing, we need to play with the make sure the audio layer is your track and your tracks, and then you can start playing with the options in here, I mean with the settings. But before, we need to add the path to the mask, and there we have around the circle. And then we might need to go and start playing with the settings. So as I say, you can have my own settings, just pause in the video and copy the same values. All right, so you see my settings, the values that I have in my project. So just go ahead and copy the same values if you want to have the same project. Once we have this, we need to add a fill, of course, to change the color. So let me go effects and preset, look it up for fill. Just drag and drop, make sure that they drop in the layer, and let me just copy the color DA30 40, and there we have. So, but before, let me just render and see what we have. Actually, you know what, before we render, we need to put the align the text, because it's not showing, it's cut it off the text. So we need to go to with where was it? Oh, okay, so it's a logo. I'm sorry, it's not a logo. It's on all compositions and go title, and also we need to go to text placeholder, and they have the text. So, and also you can change any text you like. That's what I pre-compose it, so that way you can change the color and the text anytime, or title, whatever you want to type. And just make sure to put the action save, and just drag to the right a little bit, and then go back to my main, and let me see. Actually, Okay, I think the studio we need to, you know what, let me just go back to my text folder, and I think we need to go 150, I guess, because it's too big, and just align a little bit, and then go back to my main, and there we have actually a little bit more, you know. Then go back to main, and there we have actually, you know. Okay guys, so I think that's all, you know. It's nothing hard to make it, just using the presets from After Effects. Of course you can use a CS6 and the CC, the latest Creative Cloud. So let me just render and see how it looks. Alright, so after we render, so let me just put this, you know, a little bit down, and we can play and see how it looks.
Nera Studio. Nera Studio.
Alright, and also we need to add the background. So the way to add a background is, let me just go and to the main, and let me just right click and make a new solid and call this BG. And the color we might need a little light or bright gray, and let me just hit OK and put all the way down the bottom, you know, and look it up for the same, you know, we'll look it up. We've been using this CC ball action, and you see, and even start playing, you know, actually, you know, 10 maybe, and then ball size 10 of course. And there we have. Actually, that's the way I create the background. Nothing hard to create, you know, and 2 seconds, and there we have, I guess. So I'm not going to render this out again because it's gonna it takes a little time to render. And here we go. This is the final result. You know, the only thing we have is a little smaller, the text, of course. And I guess that's all for today. Hope you guys like it. I'm gonna make it in Spanish as well for the people who speak Spanish, and also I would like to invite you to visit my new website. Of course, it's in Spanish, and hope you guys like it. And please subscribe on YouTube, follow us on Facebook, and also Twitter. See you next time. Thank you.